Hi guys, a very good day to all traders out there. Now, I've just got Euro USD to actually share. Today is the 25th of March 2021. I hope this is actually going stream live as well. So what I'm actually sharing today is your Euro USD, and I'm actually on, a second, I'm actually on the BKFX trading platform at this moment of time with Euro USD daily chart showing, but I've just got a bit of a signal to actually share with you guys today. And we are looking at the biases to the downside for Euro USD. But in terms of volume of trade or the amount of liquidity to actually push candles going down, I'm still a little doubtful of whether or not it'll actually happen in the next 1 2 hours time. Probably we'll wait a little bit more approaching the US session, possibly, but also we've got some news as well that might actually, not only news, data releases that are due. So that may actually be triggering the volatility of the Euro USD potentially to the downside. Now, let me just share this with you guys. I'm looking at the entry price for a sell for Euro USD to be only under the 1.1800 psychological level. So 1.1790 and below would actually be ideal. Now, the reason for that as well is the Euro USD on a technical perspective has actually been playing about or riding along a very big pattern that is called the lazy Z or the 5-0 pattern. It's part of the harmonic pattern type, but it's not largely traded by a lot of Forex traders, but I have been trading it for the past 8 9 years. And it's actually been quite good. So if we look into it from a big pictures perspective or from a bird's eye view, you can actually see that that is the Z pattern in purple. Okay, so this is actually giving us an indication that a price are actually going to be falling following that C to D leg right there. So hence the reason I'm seeing still potential for more selling opportunities of the Euro USD. Now, this is on a daily chart, only on the daily chart, weekly chart, that you can actually see this Z pattern a little bit more clear. So in within that move of the C to D leg to the downside, I'm looking at the potential of more ABCD geometric patterns as well to confirm that fall of price. And with that, on the technical side of it, it's usually fueled by what goes on the fundamental side of it, which is your news, your current yield conditions in the states, current coronavirus vaccination potential in Europe, and what's going on in Europe and what's going on in the States. So all that is just fueling the movements, but then the trend at this moment of time is a little uncertain if you're looking into the daily chart, but then you've got the bias to the downside. It needs to actually break the 1.1800 area, like I've mentioned, which is a psychological level. Once it breaks that, it could potentially break and pierce through the 200 EMA as well on the daily chart. So that's a good indication that it's once it's actually reached that level of 1.1800 and below, potentially 10 pips under like 1.1790, like I've mentioned, then you have got a better clarity of where it might actually want to head downwards, obviously. So this is where I've got ABCD patterns. Two ABCD patterns are pointing to the almost the same area of where your target could actually be. So because this is on the daily chart, we've got a very big target of 1.1690 area. So that is actually a few hundred pips. It's actually quite large, but that's on the daily chart. So for those of you who are looking into, let's say, the 1 hour chart or 4 hour chart, let's say, you could always trade it by stages. So once price have actually pierced through the 1.1800 area, then we see a potential of price reaching, a potential entry area at 1.1790 or 1.1770. The reason for that is because under the 1.1800, you've got the next psychological number down would actually be the 1.1780. So 1.1780 wouldn't be a good ideal price to enter the market, in my opinion, for a sell. So possibly 10 pips under the 1.1780 psychological number would be good. So 1.1780, you minus 10 pips, then you get 1.1770 to be your ideal second choice of entry. If you are more conservative and you want to wait a little bit for more momentum to pick up on the downside for Euro USD, then you can actually enter at 1.1770. Okay, but for those who would like to catch it as early as possible and immediately after it actually breaks out of the 1.1800, then you give it a little space of 10 pips under the 1.1800, and you can actually go into entry at 1.1790. So you've got two entry areas, entry levels. Number one option is 1.1790. Second option is 1.1770 if you're a little bit more conservative. Okay, so hope that makes sense. Now, with the three EMAs, exponential moving averages, that I've got here, I've always got them on all my charts, on all instruments, on all time frames as well. So I've got the 50, 100, and 200 EMA, exponential moving averages. And what I see from a technical perspective in terms of my trend analysis using these three EMAs, are that we've got majority of candles under all the three lines, and the way the three lines are moving, of course, it's a lagging indicator, but the flow of the way it moves is quite good, meaning that they're not entangled to one another in the 1 hour chart especially. So that is giving us a little bit of room to consider that it might actually break out, but it all depends on how the market is fueled by what type news, whether it's to create some correction or to actually prolong or continue the trend downwards for Euro USD. Okay, so you need to watch the level there. It's actually touching the 1.1800. It's just playing about in that area at this moment of time, and I just want to zoom in a little bit to give you a bit of an idea. So as you can see, you've got that candle on a 1 hour chart right there, current candle looking like a pin bar, looking like it's been exhausted in terms of its direction, whether it's upward or downwards. So you can actually see that the wick is pointing downwards there. Perhaps it's beginning to correct itself in that area. Now that this level here at 1.1806 or so, right down to the 1.1800, I've drawn two lines to indicate these levels, and these are levels that have in the past been a very strong support level. So this is another thing to consider. So as you can see, the price, the candle's been changing like that, but it's probably best for you not to look at the chart too long and actually just be on the chart looking at a single candle movement. That would actually make your heart throb a lot more. So that wouldn't be my advice for traders. You need to enjoy trading, and you need to lay out certain levels and plan your trade so that you can trade according to your plan. Okay, so with this, for me personally, what I would prefer doing is put it on a pending order and look at being a little bit more conservative in selling the Euro USD at 1.1770 that I've mentioned, the conservative level of entry. Probably I'll look into previous candles, mother candles as well to the left, just to give you a bit of an idea of how much power of selling could actually take place once it's actually gone under the 1.1800 area. Okay, so if I go on to the 4 hour chart, let's say, and right, so I've highlighted in green right here, as you can see, this rectangular green color of powerful selling areas in the past. It could range from a couple of months ago, a couple of years ago, and we see these longish candles. There's no minimum, but it's just visually, how long these candles are under the 1.1800. So we've got some candles are laid out there, and we've got a movement right there as well. So on average, I think you've got about 40 to 50 pips chance once it breaks out on the 1.1800 area, according to all these candles. And once it is actually dropped, a little bit lower, let's say 1.1750 area and below, then we actually could find more selling interest in that area. So it's more like a zone thing, using the mother candles of the past. You can actually use that on a 1 hour chart, 4 hour daily. Just look to the left, scroll to the left, and look at what are the selling sort of zones in the past, because usually a group of investors, traders, they would like to have a certain zone, and according to their strategies as well, on selling areas and zones. And this could be the big boys as well, promoting to that push of price at that very moment of time. So we have got, as highlighted here, several mother candles, bearish mother candles, because we want to look at whether or not this is a bearish zone under the 1.1800. So we are awaiting possibly more selling pressure for the Euro USD, and especially so because we are monitoring some geopolitical factors, but mainly on what's going on with coronavirus situation in the UK, as well as different parts of Europe, and especially Germany, France, and Italy. And these are countries that contribute to the Eurozone economy as well, and they are battling at the moment with some vaccination supplies issues, as well as lockdown possibilities as well, especially in Germany and Italy, if I'm not mistaken, and also France. So these are concerns that have actually been reflected quite well in the open during Asian sessions as well, and that's basically going to carry through for this week until early next week. So we just want to look at whether or not these news, being marketed in a way via mainstream media to actually fuel the move to the downside for Euro USD. So we're not very far away from the break of the price. We're actually literally, just a couple of pips and stuff away from the 1.1800 area. So you can actually see the behavior of candles as well, and pricing or price action itself is just being there under all the three lines, but just being there at the 1.1800 psychological level. We want that break, and usually what's best to do upon a break is to look at whether or not price breaks through, but then makes a U-turn and go back up to where it has broken out from. And if it does that, and then it reverses back again, then you've got a sort of more confident level in your confidence level could actually grow a lot more in looking at the price reflection of a bearish market, just coming through a lot more. So there you go. That's for your Euro USD. And I just want to talk to you guys about Euro USD and to show you the bigger picture as well of the pattern that I've been following all through this couple of months, since a couple of months ago, weeks and months. So been following through all that C to D leg, and it has actually been very, very beneficial with loads of ABCD patterns, geometric ABCD patterns as well. So for you guys who are interested, you can always check our Breton Financial Trading Academy on Facebook, and you can send me a direct message as well, or email me at kenny.simon@breton.academy. Okay, so with that, I want to end this session very quickly, because I'm going to go on to my next video on GBP CAD on today's trading opportunity as well. Okay, so with that, happy pipping, and we'll see you in my next video soon.